It's signing week at 24/7 Sports, and we are taking a look at Florida State's 2024 recruiting class, which ranks in the top 15 nationally and top 3 in the ACC. Bud Elliott joining me down to break down what looks like Mike Norvell's best class in his time in Tallahassee. And Bud, we will start with the highest rated player in the class. That is four-star quarterback Luke Kromenhoek. He enrolled early and participated in Orange Bowl practices. What can we expect to see from him?
So Florida State fans should be really excited about Luke Kromenhoek because the staff is super excited about him. They were actually on him before he even started a game because he was a backup to a fellow four-star quarterback in that 2021 season. But they had him at their camp. He outclassed their commit who they had in that 2022 class. That guy actually decommitted and went to Mississippi State. And then he took over the starting job after being, an all-region safety. He switched to quarterback and really played lights out as a junior and senior. Some of the best tools in the class belong to Luke, an elite level athlete, good arm, moves in the pocket pretty well. Again, hasn't played a ton of quarterback, so there's a lot of upside there, but there will be a little bit of growing pains, certainly with a guy who is inexperienced as he is.
Now, FSU lost five-star safety KJ Bolden to Georgia on the first day of the early signing period back in December, but this DB class, still one of the most impressive in the country. Mike Norvell ended up signing 3 of the top 9 corners in the country, and that includes Charles Lester III, Jamari Howard, Kai Bates, and Ricky Knight III. So, Bud, your thoughts on this group?
Sure. So Florida State has a lot to sell on a recruiting trail right now when it comes to defensive back. You have an NFL All-Pro cornerback Pat Surtain from South Florida, who's now the defensive backs coach. They've had one of the best pass defenses in the country in recent years, and they're going to put about 6 or 7 DBs into the NFL draft in a 3-year span. So that's a lot to sell. And the real theme for this class is length. Charles Lester, 6 foot plus, long arms, wants to play a lot of press coverage. A guy, really nice straight line speed, has to work on the agility a little bit and then more of the feel for the game, but a guy they like a lot. Jamari Howard as well, another South Florida get for them that they beat out in Miami and some other top programs for Jamari Howard. I know 24/7 Sports really loves Jamari Howard. And again, it's the length and the athleticism. Florida State wants to clog those passing lanes with the long arms, be able to play press, be able to jam, be able to win in the red zone. And Kai Bates out of Orlando is a guy who was a receiver. Andrew Ivins and I of 24/7 Sports actually saw him at the Battle Miami tournament, I believe in 2022. And we were trying to film this receiver. And I was like, man, this receiver's not getting open a whole lot. Who is this kid covering him? It was actually Kai Bates. And what do you know? Kai Bates ends up one of the higher rated cornerbacks in the class. So, yeah, FSU is thrilled about the corners who they landed in this class.
Back to the offensive side of the ball now. Florida State losing 2 of its top 3 running backs, either to the NFL or the transfer portal. But now you have 4-star Cameron Davis coming in, and some of our colleagues are saying he's ready to contribute early, at least from a physical standpoint. What do you expect from him?
I just think they love this guy. Okay, good teammate, mature approach. He's a multi-sport guy, very good baseball player. Actually, would like to play baseball at Florida State if he can, and he is rocked up. He's not the tallest dude, but he actually kind of compares favorably to Maurice Jones-Drew. If we can go back to remember the awesome running back that he was for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cam's played a lot of quarterback in high school, but it's more of that kind of running wildcat quarterback thing. Tough runner. I think top end speed is probably the one question there, but a guy who has elite level balance, ability to break tackles, and I agree. I think that he will play early and often in Tallahassee because they did lose their top 2 guys, and I just think it's the mature approach, the fact that he got in early, and he has a clear college ready body.
A couple of impressive offensive linemen in this class as well. I was reading an article by our colleague Zach Blostein, and he reported that Jaden Todd, the 3-star, had his lower body strength tested during FSU summer camp, and his scores were higher than any other lineman on the current FSU roster. He also reported that Jonathan Daniels would be in the top percentile of NFL Combine participants in terms of his arm length and hand size. So really impressive stuff from these young guys here, but there's a total of 4 offensive line recruits. What do you like about this group?
So they needed to reload on the offensive line. They have a very senior-heavy group for the 2024 class. So the guys they're bringing in will be counted on to play in 2025. So getting those guys in the building, getting them enrolled early was pretty key. As you mentioned, Jonathan Daniels does have elite-level length. He's going to need to add more mass and really kind of have a better feel for how to play the position. With Jaden Todd, it's the exact opposite, actually. He's a guy who's going to need to cut some weight and really kind of unlock additional quickness. But certainly the multi-sport there with his baseball background and the ability for him to have that strength is key here. And then Manasa Tete, who is from California, they went out and I think Florida State identified pretty early that it was a rather lacking year in the Southeast for offensive tackle bodies. And so they were going to have to go with a bit of a national search to find offensive tackles. And he is somebody they believe can play the tackle position for them. College ready size. It wouldn't shock me if he plays in year 2 for them.
All right, great stuff from Bud Elliott. As always, thanks so much, Bud. And for more FSU football and recruiting news, be sure to check out Noles247.com. Our staff in Tallahassee has you covered on all things Noles from signing day to the postseason all year long.